Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's expert webinar titled Importance of SOC and EDR, Falcon CrowdStrike. I am Abhishek from SpringPeople. We are India's largest enterprise training provider. I will be your moderator for today's session. In today's session, we have Mr. Vinoth Kumar, who is a certified information security enthusiast with over 17 years of robust industry experience. He has traversed diverse organizational landscapes, leveraging his expertise to build security operations center teams from their inception. Mr. Vinoth's passion for cybersecurity is evident in his energetic, self-motivated approach and deep understanding of the critical importance of the CIA triad. Vinoth is laser-focused expertise in security information and event management, vulnerability assessment, EDR, SOAR, DFIR, security devices and technologies. In today's webinar, Mr. Vinoth will let us know about understanding the evolving threat landscape, Security Operations Center essentials, Falcon CrowdStrike EDR transforming endpoint security, integration for enhanced cybersecurity, best practices and overcoming challenges, future trends and innovations. To all the participants, you can mention your questions in the chat box and it will be answered at the end of the session. Without further ado, let's start today's session. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Vinoth to start the session. Over to you, Mr. Vinoth.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks a lot for one and all who has joined in this webinar, and really appreciate the time you have taken here on your scheduled working hours. Really appreciate for the people who are shown interest towards SpringPeople and also the very important topic which we're going to discuss today. So we're going to look into the complete understanding of what is the importance of SOC. As you guys know that Security Operations Center, what they do and what are the deliverables from Security Operations Center. Especially we want to look into the monitoring capabilities, like what it can bring as a value add to the organization to ensure that the security posture of the organization is completely maintained. And also, yes, we're gonna look into the world number one, Falcon CrowdStrike EDR product, which is again, has a complete endpoint detection functionality, which will give you the complete visibility and ensure that it not only detects, it also protects the complete endpoint, incidents or attacks or whatever that is happening towards your endpoint. So combination of both will ensure that the organization attacks and organization risks and the security posture, everything will be visible, so that the organization C-level, especially CISO and everyone, will be able to understand what is the current status of the organization, what is the risk, where is the improvement, area where I have to focus, whether I have to work on a security policy or whether am I missing some real product, something like that. So it will give you the complete visibility through the SOC monitoring and Falcon CrowdStrike EDR. So moving on to the slide. So we stop breaches. That means these capabilities will ensure that it not only because if you see a lot of vendors who is available in the market, they say that we will be able to notify something. There are always limitations, but predominantly as a strong statement, no one would be able to say we will be able to stop the breaches. But even here, the protection that ensure that gives you the power to stop the breaches at least a certain limitation or to the certain point from the current capabilities or the organization security devices deployed. So we will get to know in this session to understand more on the monitoring and the EDR combination, so that you can take the best practices or you can reach out to us to get the best practices done for your organization as well, right? So I'm going to bring key takeaway. If you guys are aware or very good in reading articles, so there will be always a yearly threat report, threat intelligence report would be delivered. Like I was trying to get it for 2023. Unfortunately, it's still due to deliverable, but we will be able to see the key factors which is kind of an alarming, and also ensure that we will be able to understand how the worldwide attacks are happening in gist of slides, right? Okay, so this is the uh, first slide, which will tell you that you guys know that these are MITRE attack phases, right? Any security attack which has been targeted, or any kind of an attack which needs to get successful, you guys know it's like it has to go to the different phases, right? Uh, Initially, you will have an access, and when attackers will try to execute something, and they will try to have a persistent connections, and they try to do a privilege escalations, and etc., etc. So then only real attack can happen. Then you can see the lateral movement, collection of targeted data, or financial statements or financial credit card details, and etc., etc. So whatever the target is, like, they will be able to collect and do a command and control down the line on the later stages of MITRE attack, right? But here, Falcon ensure that they have the complete survival, in the sense how effectively you will be able to detect and investigate and respond. So 2021, the e-crime breakout time was 98, and this is, you are seeing on 84. This is a cumulative value of the overall MITRE attack phase where it detected, were able to break out that e-crime attempts from various sources across the globe. So where Falcon EDR did an enormous job, and where they were able to reduce the dwell time to 84 minutes from 98 minutes from compared to last year. So how it works? So they will be able to detect the any kind of a MITRE-based attacks. The EDR comprises of various security policies. They have machine learning, they have artificial intelligence, they have behavioral analytics. They also have a prevention policy, detection policies, USP policies. So there are various policies combined together. So all put together, you will be able to detect any kind of an attack in 1 minute, and you will be able to, or automatically the investigation will be performed. There is something called CrowdStrike incidents, CrowdStrike incidents, something like that. So we'll be able to give you the gist of investigation in 10 minutes, and you will be able to respond maximum into 60 minutes. It's in a particular instance. So that's what Falcon has always, tried to claim it. So there was a good downsizing from 84 minutes from 98 minutes for the last year. And again, you could see the access broker. To give a little update, what is access brokers? As you guys know, these are the guys who try to steal your information or access credentials. They will be keep on hunting organizations' credential. They will be dumping it and selling it in the dark and deep webs, where various other actors will go ahead and buy that. For example, their ransomware service guys, or a targeted attacker, hackers and hacktivists, they will be buying it and doing a notorious activity against the organization where access has been compromised. So where you guys can see it, where there was 112% of the increase. That means attackers are kept on trying some other organization. You can see the monthly comparison. It's not even went down except February, but you can see the complete uptrend, even 300 access attempts, 400 access attempts across the organization, where we can see. And there is a 112% raise compared from the previous year of 2021, right? And you can see top 10 sectors where it got impacted. That means their access has been compromised, and they try to take out the industry. So you can see the academic and technology and industry. So various, especially financial industries and government organization, healthcare, so all the sensitive sectors has been impacted for this attack, and there's no doubt about it. So, and also we were, everybody, have a has a limitation of thinking that all the attacks will be happening through a malware only, or some kind of a ransomware only, or a kind of a drive-by downloads only. It's not the case. This slide, I want to bring it to the attention to everyone, because where you can see these tactics, malware-free tactics has been used by the attackers, especially. This is like a beyond the malware, where they were able to do various other tactics and techniques, and they were trying to exploit the vulnerabilities which is available in your endpoints or servers and etc. And you can see the increased trend. So it's not only malware, because a lot of the organization, they focus on have to have an antivirus solution. I want to put a Office 365 email security scan to be performed. Okay, I guess you guys can hear me now. Okay, so we can see there are various attacks also, except malware free. So you can see the increased trend from 2018 to 2022. So that has also been increased 71%. So that means attack doesn't use only the malwares. There are various lot of attacks which is happening. And this is one more interesting point of view, where you can see various, as you guys know, the threat actors and hackers, hacktivists, groups. We call the Falcon CrowdStrike used to trace these guys, understand what they are doing, make them as a individual group, and identify the complete activities what they are doing, and collect the IOCs, IOA, and ensure that they feed everything into the threat intelligence world, right? So Falcon has a very good threat intelligence research institution, and they follow a lot of activists and hackers and groups. And one of that is, you can see the China Nexus, where you can see from 2022 onwards, there was a lot of, more than 20 different attacks has been across the geographical regions. The attacks were been there, and especially it's from a Chinese intelligence community party, where they were trying to target other countries and trying to steal information using various tactics and techniques. It's called as Nexus, simple term. Even if you do a little bit research about it, you will know how notorious activities has been performed by targeting a country or targeting a particular institution, and they try to compromise the complete environment. So even Falcon has a very good intelligence there. Like they were able to trace, which are the countries they've been, testing it out. They were trying to attack. You can see government is number one, and financial, telecommunications, and all other aerospace, defense. So they tried across the board, where they were able to get much more information. So these reports, the statistical reports, always confirms that the attackers are always ahead of us. So our current capabilities, like a detection capabilities or a prevention capabilities, definitely required a improvement on a CMI perspective, in the sense you have to ensure that you keep on upgrading your environment, apply various security strategies, build up some risk management plan, build up some ensure that your employees also trained effectively on various tools and technologies and the latest topics, the user awareness. So everything an organization have to do it, and they don't have a choice, because attackers always ahead of us. There is no question about it, because they are always at least a minimum of 10 times ahead when you compare with the white hats, right? So that's how the tools and different technologies they are into, and they are always under the hidden umbrella to ensure that they will be able to do nefarious acts. So we have to be very vigilant enough to ensure that the organization security posture, or we have to ensure that the end-to-end visibility should be there, and also we have to ensure the complete awareness from an employee's perspective also. Even if you are opening a spam email, even if you're addressing someone and you are visiting some website, or you are opening an attachment, so everything has to be validated technically. At the end of the day, the CAA triad is completely maintained not only by a technology or a process, right? So it has to be people also. So we have to ensure the people, process, technology is binded together to ensure that the CAA triad is maintained effectively, right? Yep. Going to the next important topic. So we're going to see a little bit of gist of how SOC monitoring will be performed and how it will be helpful to organization. So some kind of a basic understanding as a takeaway from this webinar, so that if you don't have a SOC monitoring, or if you're not vigilantly understanding your environment, what is the firewall attacks which are happening, what is the number of proxy attacks which are happening, if I have a educational website, or if I'm into information technology, I'm into e-commerce, if you are into healthcare, so irrespective of any division, so you have to ensure that what is happening in and around of your systems, right? Otherwise, definitely you will get to know definitely when you get compromised. So don't wait that till that moment, because that's gonna be a very hard impact on your fame and name, and definitely goes down, and people, the trust against your business objectives, that will be questioned, and you will be very soon out of the business. So you have to ensure that the monitoring is completely becoming vital right now, so that you will ensure that your business running effectively without any disruptives. Right now, let's see what are the SOC monitoring. Basically, it's a complete SOC monitoring is used using various tools and technologies. Just to give you a little bit name, it's we normally all the SOC centers use a centralized monitoring system. They will be using a component called SIM. So SIM is nothing but your security incident and event management tool. So there are various vendors who are available in the market. For example, Azure Sentinel, Falcon CrowdStrike, and IBM QRadar, Oxy. There are various vendors across the board, and they have different strategies, different detection capabilities, applied towards the product, which will give you the complete understanding of what is happening in your environment. In a nutshell, how that works, all your you will be deploying that SIM tool within your organization, or that can be a cloud solution also. So they will integrate all your networking devices and your applications and your security devices and your endpoint machines and your servers and your active directories. So you name any IT devices or applications or security devices which will be used in your organization for your business perspective. Those logs will be collected, or they will be pushed to a centralized this security incident event management console. And from there, the SIM tool has a pre-built lot of use cases that will go ahead and read all these in the sense of it will automatically apply machine learning, artificial intelligence, pre-built rules, combination of rules and fusion rules, and etc. put together. It will give you the hint of saying, hey, there is a malware intrusion attempt, there was a denial of service attack, there was a ransomware attack, there was a directory traversal attack, there was a SQL injection attack, there is a cross-site scripting attack. So all the kind of attacks will be clearly available in a monitoring screen, where the SOC team goes ahead and do the complete analysis. Like even your SOC team has the responsibilities, they go ahead and do all the investigation on the incidents which is getting triggered. They have various level 1, level 2, level 3 team members who are part of it, and they go ahead and do the complete investigation and tell you that, hey, these are the attack which has happened. So we see there is a ransomware incident identified from a HR machine, or because the HR is the one who always publicly exposed, because they will be working with a lot of new joiners, school students, educational institutions, and etc. So they get a lot of email from outside world, right? So then there might be a chance there might be a ransomware based attachments also can be received to the HR machines. So if there are some ransomware compromised, then immediately the SIM will alert you saying that, hey, there was a ransomware from a HR machine, and these are the action which you have to take it from a SIM point of view. So I'll tell you the same scenario what happens in an EDR, but in SIM will tell you that, hey, we detected this. Can you go ahead and immediately check that machine? or isolate the machine, ensure that that machine is not connected to any other system, and ensure that it has been isolated and you take necessary actions, etc. So the SOC team does all the processes. They will give you the complete visibility what is happening and give you the complete remediation steps to ensure that you are getting away from the impact of the system, right? So that's what the end-to-end SOC monitoring will be happening. They detect and notify you, they help you to remediate, and in case of any critical system, there are various terms called war rooms. So war room is nothing but there is a very critical system, in a security incident has been identified, right? Let's say in a hospital environment, there are patient records has been exfiltrated by an attacker, right? So that means it's a very sensitive data. All the patient's record has been exfiltrated. So how do you deal with this certain scenarios, right? So what SOC team does, they create a war room in the sense of over a Teams meeting, over a the communication or a the channel which they are agreed with the client. So they pull all the key resources in the key stakeholders from the client. That means your CISO, security head, database administrators or firewall administrators. So pull everyone and brief the incident. Hey, these are the incidents which is found, and we have to take these action. And now we are in a critical state. So they assign the individual actions to the respective teams and ensure that the incident is mitigated quick enough to stop the it's called a complete triage. In a military statements, if you see if any wounded armed person comes in, they immediately put them in the structure and take it to your inside the tent, and they give you the immediate first aid and everything, right? So the same will be done by the SOC team to ensure that all the attacks are immediately taken care by doing a triage and by giving a remediation steps, and they handhold you to the entire journey to improve the security portion. That's what the SOC team would be doing. And these are the most SIM which are available in the market, especially Azure Sentinel, QRadar, Oxide, Logarithm, and etc. So these are various SIM platforms which is available, which will be used, on the log management and asset management, incident management, and you will be able to do all these in a one-stop solution from a particular SIM tool. So that will ensure that the entire end-to-end coverage is there for your organization. The team will be 24/7. They will be sitting and monitoring, and will ensure that they are able to keep happening in your. Let me take a pause. Was it a question in between? So anyone? We have a Q&A session at the end of the session. So I would request to have your Q&A at the session. So I'm glad to receive that. And okay, thank you. Now, benefits, definitely you can see, it will give you the complete detection. So as I said before, you don't need to know the bad news later point of time when you are very busy in focusing on your business objectives, right? So you will be working with various partners, various customers, a lot of improvements. Your business will be trending in when you are in peak, or when you are heading to the peak of your business. If you get some bad hit, especially which hit you the reputation of the organization, saying that, hey, there was a website which introduced by you that was already compromised, then how do my data will be safe and secure with you, and I don't want to do the business with you. So that's how the business will be take a direct hit, and they will be going out of the business, right? So you have to ensure that early threat detection is there. That definitely the monitoring will give you that. And your reduced response time, that means you don't need to be wait so long. There is an SLA, there is a KPI, a KRI, everything is defined on a SOC monitoring resources, and also part of deliverables. And yes, there is an enhanced incident response. As I said in the previous example, we handhold you, we guide you to the war room. We will tell you that we take individual incident and give you the complete visibility, and give you the enhancement of what is happening, how we have to stop or mitigate that risk, as a permanent solution from your perspective. Don't focus only on that incident. Through that incident, you have to take a lot of lessons, and how do you improve the overall posture? That's what the focus would be, primarily from the SOC. It's not only detect and notify and you simply sit there and relax your time. No, SOC focuses much on your improvement, mitigating your risk, bringing your risk basically on top of the table, and ensure that the risk is visible for all your stakeholders. And we will ensure that give the complete visibility, or the corrective actions and the risk scores can be reduced sometimes. So that's how the process improvement would be, right? So yes, so you will be having a continuous protection round the clock, and wherever the likelihood of it is or impact is any kind of a cyber threat which is happening. For example, at the midnight today, there was a ransomware. You guys know WannaCry ransomware, Petya ransomware. There is a lot of ransomware where being immediately comes out of the nowhere, right? So then you will be doing a lot of actions and everything. But SOC team would be, you don't need to keep yourself reading those, but SOC team is already, equipped with various threat intelligence factors, and they are always on top of the new attacks and new trends, new kind of malwares or behaviors. Everything, they keep on learning themselves. So that will ensure that you have the continuous protection applied automatically through the people, through the process, and also through the technology using the SIM platform, right? And yes, it gives you the improved visibility, and definitely yes, the business continuity is there, because if, as I said, there is a disrupt in your business, definitely it's going to be a heavier impact in your organization's business objective and goals. And definitely no board members likes that at any point of time, even your CISOs or investors. You take anyone, they ensure that they already get to know the importance, because their business is into cyber. Then definitely they have to have some cyber strategies or information security strategies built across their business journey, right? For that, definitely yes, the monitoring will give you the complete benefit. And I don't want to take much time here, because various other SOC tools and technologies will be part of the deliverables. For example, you use threat intelligence platform, and you do a vulnerability assessment, vulnerability scanning, and etc. And you also have an EDR that we're gonna talk very soon. And you have DLP, and you have SOAR, like a security orchestration, automation, and response. That means you don't only detect, you also do a complete automation. For example, if there is a malicious IPs are attacking your environment, you don't need to wait for someone to manually work on that, right? So you just go ahead and create some effective playbooks, and that will apply to your automation perspective with using various tools and technologies, right? Let me go through the another one. This is a simple hierarchy where you have your confidentiality, integrity, and availability is your, as you guys know, the organization CI triad, right? So you will be deploying a SIM where your SOC team member would be analyzing all these logs, right? So you will be integrating all the security devices. Not only security devices, it's all your endpoints, your servers, applications, end-to-end IT devices, and everything you will be integrating with the SIM. That will enable you give you the complete continuous monitoring for the SOC L1, L2, and L3 team members. And yes, you will be able to understand the compliance perspective. For example, if you are in a HIPAA, or if you are in a PCDIS, or if any kind of other frameworks also you want to do an ISMS compliance. So you will get the visibility of your environment. Are you compliant enough in that? Is there anything missing, or is there any risks are kept on opening in your environment? So all those visibility will be automatically will be given to you using your SIM solution. And yes, there will be a dedicated team members or directors who work with the client point of contact to ensure that the complete strategical decisions are discussed. For example, last 1 month or a quarterly, we identified various risks, and these risks are kept still in open status. Why don't we go ahead and work on it, build some strategies, or invest some product, or build some processes, or bring more people if there is a people challenge. So that will be discussed in a quarterly meeting or a C-level meetings to ensure that the board is aware what exactly is your current status, right? So that's how SOC will be able to help you to get into the permanent stage. I hope the importance of SOC would have been a little understandable for you guys. So ensure that if you are from any organization joined here, you can ask back your organization, are we monitoring our environment or not? So if not, just ask them why we are not doing it. How do we know if there is some attacks are happening? Even though you have individual administrators who are sitting and monitoring or maintaining their your security devices, it is only applied with a business requirement basis. They may not focus on a information security or a risk-based monitoring. They may not be doing it because, for example, if a firewall admin is maintaining your entire organization, he have to ensure that the entire organization availability perspective, right? So he may not worried about the confidentiality or an integrity perspective, right? So that's how the lack of the firewall admin's knowledge also, clearly matters here. So we have to ensure that whether he knows about all the attacks, how the attacks has been successful, then what are the other things I have to do. So there are a lot of various things in it. So just check back and see, are you completely protected your environment by doing effective monitoring? Yeah. Okay. Now let's get into our next topic, which is the Falcon CrowdStrike EDR. So what is EDR, right? So EDR was the name is not much fame, well before, around 6 to 8 years before, there was not much EDR tools. But nowadays, if you see the entire information security market or any security team members or any C levels, CISOs, everybody is they started focusing on EDRs. So we know the adversaries definitely they are very smart enough, right? They know our defensive strategies, what are the defensive technologies which we have, and they very much know about all the existing product, right? For example, if I want to target a particular organization, just like that, you can't do a bombshell or something like that so that it will be blasting, right? So it will be a complete phase by phase approach where I have to build something or I have to follow some kill chain mechanisms to ensure that the target is getting compromised. So when I do that, or when the attackers are doing it, the adversaries know that, okay, there is a perimeter level, you have this firewall, and after that you have a DMZ, and after that you have your IDS, IPS, and after that you have your, if you're coming through an email gateway, then there is a email setting is there is a sandbox is there, then even the web traffics are properly filtered. You will not be able to directly reach to the internal machine. There is a netting. So people knows that there is always very good defensive technologies of it, but still there are live gaps are there. You take any kind of devices, definitely there is a security policy breach, or there can be a the deployment may not be proper, or there can be a vulnerabilities present in that your existing machine, or maybe the firewall policies or existing policies are not effectively configured. So there is always a gap between the traditional silo tools. That is what primarily focused by the adversaries across the board. So this simple table will be able to give you the little bit understanding of what is antivirus and what is EDR, right? So you can see there are various aspects of it, where behavioral analytics, for example, your antivirus solution just uses some signature. I have 10 signatures, right? I have 10 verification signatures. For example, whenever you enter a hospital or whenever you enter your organization office or something like that, you show your ID card. If the ID card is recognized by your internet system or an gateway management system, then you are allowed to go into it, right? So if I don't have that 10 members list, And if you show that, it will not work right. Similarly, if a virus comes, I can see, okay, this is in my list, you're not allowed. So the antivirus will block. But in EDR perspective, it doesn't look or in a signature based methodologies or something like that. So it basically goes ahead and try to understand the behavior of it and what are the other things and this malicious file can do. It will try to execute by itself in a in a test environment and see what are the aspects of it, and try to, whether is that trying to exfiltrate something or trying to inject some malicious file, is that trying to contact to the command and controls malicious IP. So all these analysis will be automatically done by your EDR solutions. And cloud natives, yes, many traditional antivirus it may not support, or sometimes it required regular updates. If you are part of an administrators, you know how challenged it would be. So there will be an always signature out of date, or sometimes you may not be able to reach the system. So always a challenge from a cloud perspective. But Falcon CrowdStrike, it doesn't have any such issues. It will give you the real-time updates, and even though it is not able to contact the servers, with that existing threat intelligence, behavior analytics, and everything is much secured to even block any kind of a new virus or malwares or anything comes from a behavior perspective, will be able to block it. And yes, efficacy and speed, traditional antivirus, this will be a detection will be very delayed, and there will be a lot of delayed false positive identification will be very high. But in Falcon, it has its own real-time execution, so it will be able to with a rapid threat intelligence, it will be able to give you the complete understanding of how exactly it is working, right? And as again, the endpoint visibility and response and to the modern threats, because the Falcon is the #1 product in the world where the threat intelligence is kept on updating each and every minute. Because if you see any other vendor in the market, it's questionable. But in Falcon CrowdStrike, there is no question about it, because all the threat intelligence will be kept on updating every now and then, because they are following various adversaries, security researchers, and etc. That will bring the various IOCs, IOA feeder to the threat intelligence of Falcon CrowdStrike. Yeah, so as you guys know, there is a lot of gaps, like your traditional systems will have it. So to cover that up, you have to ensure that you have the complete detections and responses there. And also threat hunting. Threat hunting is something, for example, let's say tomorrow there is a Win ransomware is released, right? You have to ensure that, hey, how do I detect it? So I should have a IOCs or IOA or a YARA rules, or any kind of a rule should help me to ensure that I can detect that Win ransomware. To do that, you have to ensure that threat intelligence automatically feed it, and also should allow you to do the hunting. So you have to have the various facilities. You have to touch the memory, you have to analyze your kernel, you have to analyze the files, you have to analyze the registries, you have to analyze the services. A tool should have all these capabilities along with an artificial intelligence and machine learning, and also human interactive. Whether all these are available in any other tool, I may not know, but in Falcon CrowdStrike, we have all these requirements which ensure that you will be able to do an effective hunting on whatever you wanted to hunt it, right? So there are various red team activities are there, and if you have red team effective scenarios, then red team will be able to give you use the threat hunting effectively, and they will be able to give you the complete insight of what is happening in your environment. Yes, Falcon has the complete option where they can go ahead and utilize to the fullest, right? And yes, the incident response and advisories are there. There is various security advisories and security articles, which is kept on updating. It's not only based on license only. It's not only for the users. No, Falcon also gives you the complete visibility on threat intelligence, news, security bulletins, security advisories, RSS feeds, etc., etc. That will ensure that you are getting a complete visibility. And also, as you can see on a 2022, they are into 99% of the highest detection coverage across the board, and there is also a certified from a MyTree perspective. They're also number one on the top of the list. So now, what are the other things are there with Falcon as a overall product? Yes, they have endpoint security, like they have a EDR and XDR, which will be available. Along with that, they will be able to, put this in your cloud security also. And yes, threat intelligence and identity protection, any kind of an identity management solution you are running out of, you want to ensure that have a complete identity, practice and procedure applied to your environment. Yes, Falcon also has identity protection and security and IT ops, your IT asset management and maintenance, deployment and security policies, review, etc., etc. Complete security operations will be able to do it through the security IT ops also. And observability, yes, that will give you the complete picturization. And you can see it is just from the the top layer I was telling, but you can see one agent, which is also works on an agent and agentless options also. And that will give you the complete threat graph and asset graph and intelligent graph, and it will cover your entire ecosystems also, along with the various API integration option available in CrowdStrike. So that will ensure that, hey, I have a Cisco and I have a Palo Alto and now I have different vendor. Will I be able to feed that into the CrowdStrike or IT ops, etc., etc.? Yes, CrowdStrike has various API ecosystem which is pre-built. Through that, you will be able to get the complete centralized visibility. You can see it's in the same slide with the different names here. So how do you able to get the endpoint security? You can use inside XDR. You have Falcon Prevent, and also Falcon CrowdStrike has a firewall, and they have a MDM, and they also have a forensics capabilities. Along with that, Falcon Horizon and Falcon CWP will ensure that your cloud security posture. And these your threat intelligence, ransom recognition, intelligence, and Falcon Sandbox. Yes, because if any of your malicious file you have it and you want to analyze it and you can't upload it outside world, then you can utilize various Falcon Sandbox technology that has a that will perform dynamic analysis, static analysis, and all the other technical analysis will be done, and will give you the complete visibility. Hey, is this vulnerable file, or is it a ransomware file, or is it some kind of a malicious scripts injected file or not? So it gives you the complete picturization and tell you that, hey, it is completely malicious file, don't use it. Something like that. Effective reports also will be given by Falcon Sandboxes. And yes, so for IT SecOps, you have Falcon Discover, Falcon Spotlight, Surface, and File Vintage, and various other products also is part of the. Right? So how do you ensure your maturity model? It's basically starts, any organization or any, not only from a CrowdStrike perspective. Let's keep CrowdStrike a little bit ahead. But if you see any other organization, you might be with the various vendor also, right? You have to ensure that a holistic approach is applied across your board. You have to ensure that, hey, I want to deploy a zero trust architecture and ensure that, and my risk scores is always, score is 1 or 2, and I don't have to get into any kind of a compromise at any. If this is your goal, so it's just a one-liner statement you can say here, but it is very, very hard to achieve from your realistic perspective, because you will be touching various points from people, process, technology, from technology, various huge umbrella underneath that. You can put your user machine, servers, business applications, network devices, etc., etc. So achieving this one-liner statement is not easy enough. So until and unless you are applying a CMMI model or any kind of a holistic approach model in your environment, through that only you will be able to achieve that, right? So phase one start here. Basically, you have to have what are the basic coverages to run your business securely that you have to have. Then again, you apply your attack surface management or a vulnerability management, asset management, digital risk management, etc., etc., to ensure that you apply more proactive security, right? And again, you go with a deeper broad context, like you have to ensure that okay, I've done my business taken care, and also I'm performing additional vulnerability assessment and all other risk management practices. Then again, what? Yeah, we have to go with the advanced, detection. For example, any kind of an intelligence, you have to apply. For example, am I being already targeted? Am I being already compromised? Is my data is already available publicly somewhere? Is that my customers' data is available in, dark and deep web? Is my credit card is for sale under my dark and deep web? So how do you know that? So all these intelligence will be have to be applied to ensure that you run your sustainability business into the next deep and broad context view. Then again, yes, you have a holistic end-to-end architecture. For example, you want to bring an automation, you want to reduce the cost-effective products, or you want to work on a uh, automation solution with a machine learning, or you want to bring a SOAR where you have to, all the incidents, right now the SLA is 30 minutes. Hey, I want to reduce it to 5 minutes or 7 minutes across the board. Then you bring more holistic view, bring some new platforms, and you work on it. So end of the day, your ecosystem should be aligned with your holistic view to ensure that you get the complete security posture intact, right? This slide, what it means here, CrowdStrike has that proven maturity model, which ensure that the product within the Falcon is much more enough to have the complete ecosystem to be built and deployed and maintained and to run the effective show. That's the previous screen which we have seen. Those are the products which are available in the with Falcon. They will be able to help you the complete step. Okay? Now, how an EDR will be able to give you the complete visibility, right? So EDR works on a, basically it collects, for example, let's say you have 10,000 users, right? And you have 1,000 servers, and you have various Linux, SUSE Linux, Ubuntu, and you have various servers and everything, right? So you want to ensure that you protect that completely. So you don't want to have any kind of a ransomware infections there, and you don't want to have any malware infection, and you don't want to have any malicious script automatically coming and running, and you don't want to have your SQL kind of a web-based attacks or some kind of an email compromise. So you don't like to have any kind of a such impact in your environment. Right? Let's say tomorrow there is some, you guys know the standard operating environment, right? So beyond the standard operating environment, you are installing something and it leads to some malicious file. How do we know that, right? Like administrators, sometimes they overutilize their privileges and they try to play around in the system. So it's always very difficult to handle the privileged users also, right? So how do you track those users' activity? So that's kind of a one-stop solution. A small piece of an agent will be installed in all the machines that will have the complete understanding of that will protect your complete security attacks which is happening, right? So it can be deployed on a container basis, on a systems, on a desktops. Even you can integrate your firewalls databases through an agentless mechanism for a centralized view. And yes, you can put your smartphones and your online shopping cart applications and web services and all your customized applications. So anything you can you log it, and it'll be able to process that. The agent will be able to give you the complete information in a readable format. That's what it's called parsing. So that will be in a readable format, gives you the validated input to the public cloud or private cloud, which is called as a service, and it will in a Falcon server. Then you will be able to get the memory utilization or a segmentation, live queries, or the process, kernel level changes, all the insights you will be able to get it through the piece of software which we are installing it, and you will be able to get all the answers through the EDR simple solution. So that will give me the complete visibility of the security attacks, any kind of vulnerability attacks or attack surface management. Is there any compromise, all kind of a MITRE tactics and techniques, everything will be able to not only identify, it'll be able to protect those kind of incidents as well immediately. There is no manual intervention. That's the beauty here. If you see the example I've given you in the SIM, right, for a HR machine, you just go ahead and there is a ransomware infection. The SIM will tell you that, hey, there is a ransomware infection. But here in EDR, what it does is it not only tell you that, hey, there is a ransomware in a HR machine, it will tell you that, hey, there was a ransomware in a HR machine. I blocked it and the ransomware is no more running. Maybe depends on the policy. You can quarantine, you can delete it, right? You can, or just hold that, delete that DLL files, or you can contain that files. I mean, the systems or servers automatically from the network. It doesn't require any kind of a manual intervention at any time. If you refine your policies internally effectively. And there are various automations also available, which is called workflows from a Falcon CrowdStrike perspective. Any environment you can create minimum of 200 workflows automatically. That means, automations. So that's how it is. It's not, if some of you know Azure Sentinel, all other product, you have KQL query languages and Kuster queries and all other you have to manually build various queries to ensure that you are able to run some automation. But here in Falcon, it is just a simple of kind of a flow chart. You select, pick and choose, and you will be creating automation and workflows to handle your incidents. Yeah, so that's what the difference between SIM and an XDR. So an EDR solution. And SIM and EDR, if you put together, that is called kind of an XDR. That is additional to it. You will be having an automation, and extensive detection and response will be able to perform. That's called a new term called XDR. So EDR itself right now in a lot of organization getting to know it, and they have started deploying it in their organization. Now also they are migrating. EDR is also not enough at the moment to have the holistic ecosystem maintained. So now they are planning for an XDR, ZOR, and other technologies also, right? So this gives you the complete picturization of one agent. Will give you the complete capability on your ecosystem. It can be your email, it can be your network, and it can be your identity or attack surface or vulnerability management. It gives you the file integrity management. So it gives you the complete visibility using a one agent solution. Now, yeah, so you can see the coverage. As I guess it's been already covered through the different slide. You can see that it covers your endpoint. It can be a Apple or it can be a Windows, a Macintosh, anything, and you can mobile and Android, iOS, all type of servers, and especially OT, IoT, Chrome OS, and everything. It has been supported, and you can see majority of the clouds in the market which has been supported. Agent will deploy, and you have your third parties like your identity solution or user management, UBA, all Active Directory. You can integrate this behind the, with all kind of a two-factor authentication. You can put behind this, put Falcon behind the PAM, and also you can put a AD and you can do a SSO. So all these can be also done in the Falcon platform. Such a capability are there with the Falcon CrowdStrike EDR. Is that very difficult to deploy? Is that required a multiple engineering perspective? Do I need to spend much time and etc.? No. You will be able to do a deployment. It's very easy. You just take the downloadable agent, push it through your SCCM across the board. Your SCCM administrator will be able to do it immediately, in an hour or two. You can see how the hospitality changed. You can see 1 million agents were less than 24 hours were able to do it. And in a technology company, there was 55,000 agents. It has been deployed in 5 days. And you can see financial institution, there is more than 6 lakhs agents, and it's been performed in a 5 days, 50 days, right? So sometimes your engineering plan have to be very effective because you might have various branches across the world. You have various departments, spread it across your organization. So some sensitive customers, non-sensitive customers, some PCI DSS, some is critical, and a lot of crown jewels, right? Critical systems. So you have to strategize your complete environment, and you ensure that you roll out the project to get the complete context of your detection, and you will have the complete adversaries visibility to your through a lot of various external sources into the Falcon. That will give you the threat intelligence, threat hunting perspective. Yes, it will give you the complete expert insights, like what is happening, what kind of incidents are occurred, and what some kind of a customized uh, solution also will be supported by Falcon also from the tag perspective, from a support perspective also. Okay, and what am I gaining? So any MSSP or any in-house perspective, or any client you work on, and or anytime you propose something, or even if you are opting out for a training or you're learning something, what am I taking out, or what is my return of investment, right? What is an ROI? Right? So you can see if you save $4 for every $1 you're spending less than 3 months, right? The reason behind, you can see here if there is a reduced risk of data breaches. This is the maximum penalty an organization where they can get it if there are data breaches, and if they are in the US, UK markets, there are heaviest breaches, fines, and across the board from a you know from a government perspective, or from a NSA perspective, or a US CERT perspective. There are various breach and penalties across the countries, and you can see that that's the maximum data breach penalty, right? And it's unbelievable amount which we are talking for the data breach. And if you deploy this, yes, you're gonna eliminate the redundant tools, because you don't need to buy different products to perform an activity which can be performed by an EDR, right? So you don't need a threat intelligence new a vendor to come on board and give you the complete threat intelligence to your entire environment. No, you buy one particular product, which is Falcon CrowdStrike, or you get the complete training with the Falcon CrowdStrike EDR and understand how it works. Then you will be able to reduce all these redundant tools cost and other investigation or in case, or some kind of isolation tools for your environment. So all these you'll be eliminating automatically, right? And yes, it definitely reduces your security incident downtime, so that the value is brought in through the various downtime impact from a various organization, and it's a kind of a cumulative dollar value. Right? And cyber insurance, as you guys know, if sometimes you, especially on a banking, any financial sectors you take, they are running with insurance. Otherwise, banks will not be able to survive any time, right? So cyber insurance is becoming very famous, and there is huge amount of investment against the cyber insurance. So you save that as well, right? Because you will get the complete visibility, your endpoint is protected, your server is protected, and your exit and entry system is completely watched, and policy enrichment is given by your SOC monitoring team. So combination of your SOC monitoring team and EDR, you will be saving 3 years of 7.25 million is the total value. It is not from Falcon. Actually, this is completed from Forrester Economical Impact Report, which has been cross-verified. So you would be saving around 7.25 millions of dollars in 3 years if you are serious into the business. And monitoring and EDR together will ensure that an effective ROI is there always for the organization. Yes, so it is trusted by various organizations, Gartners, and TrustAudits, Maitrey, SE Labs, Forresters, and various AWS and other competitive compliance and certification also possible when you learn the Falcon EDR and other things. And you can see ranked #1 by various customers, like trusted by 254 out of Fortune 500 companies. And it has the Maitrey highest detection coverage across the board. Any tools and technology you take, Maitrey coverage is 100% across the board. And #1 endpoint security market share in the market. If you guys much interested, go ahead and look into the financial statement of Falcon CrowdStrike. Then you will know how the market share, the percentage of the market share where Falcon is holding at the moment, and also it's leader in the Gartner and obviously in the Forrester as well, right? Yep. So it's also not stops there. Forrester report, you can see how the threat intelligence collection is effective, where you can see 200 plus advisories are tracked daily, right? And 200K IOCs are published daily that are automatically fed to the tool which we are using it. And 7+ trillion telemetry events, is being analyzed per week, and 1.2 million of malware samples are processed daily basis across the organizations. Yep. There was a lot of elite partners and the focus partners from Cloudflare, IBM Security, Mimecast, and all these stuff. So you have also Proofpoint, Okta, Netscope, ServiceNow. There are various integration. Falcon platform has where Falcon Store, CrowdStrike Store, where you will be able to integrate the partner apps and you will be able to enrich your security much more in a broader way. Even if you are in a various different flavors of organization, the vendors, you will be able to cover using the Falcon. Yep. So the takeaway is here, you have to ensure that move to CrowdStrike, have your EDR effective, or have the EDR training at least, effective. You should know what is EDR, how that can be benefited, as a team, I can build my, improve my security posture. Or if I'm handling clients, how can I sell this as a service also, right? EDR as a service. MSSP models, a lot of organizations also they work. So they will be able to work on it. Over to you, Abhishek.
Thank you, Mr. Vinoth, for your invaluable insights on technology. I'm sure it was certainly a very informative session for all of you. If you guys are interested in learning more about various cybersecurity, do check out our super discounted batches of virtual instructor-led trainings on our website, springpeople.com. These VILT trainings are leveraged online from the comforts of your home and flexible as per your schedule and location. If you do not find any suitable batches, we would be happy to discuss and schedule private batches for you. If you don't have time to join live online, then do try out our affordable self-paced courses. For more information, do write to us at training@springpeople.com or call on our number displayed on the current slide. Now, we will open the forum to answer questions that we have received during the session. So let's get our questions answered. Over to you, Mr. Vinoth.
Question and answer session. So feel free to hit any kind of a question on the topic or the training, or you want to know how to reach the Spring people. Any kind of a questions you can put it. The poll is open now. You have some questions, you can please go ahead and hit the questions. There was a very good question from Ranjan. May I know how Falcon CrowdStrike handled the false positive incident? Very good question, Ranjan. Any technology in the initial deployment stage, if you see, you will have false positives, true positives, benign positives, etc. It's unique in flavor to flavor or customer to customer. You will hit a percentage of the false positive might be higher. But how to handle Falcon CrowdStrike false positives? You have to ensure that first you focus on the policy level. For example, you would have deployed the identification policy, prevention policy, control policies. All we have more than 6 different policies which are available. And if you are put very aggressive status, if your policy levels are, then definitely you will have a lot of false positive. I'll give an example. Even if you run any kind of a legitimate application and it's tried to do connect to some server, it might think that okay, there is a application which is trying to connect to the particular server. But again, threat intelligence will evade that, but it will also trigger you as a false positive. So sometime you have to ensure that that is being handled effectively. So once you do the policy level fine tuning, that should be able to help you. And also, what happens when the false positive comes in? Because you might miss focusing on the true positive incidents, right? So for that, what you can do, you can build as much as workflows. That means automation. I'll give you one example. If there is a critical incidents are coming or ransomware incidents are coming, you directly assign to L1 team members or L2 team members. Don't keep it in the queue, right? Similarly, you can, by your internal organization learnings, you can automatically assign the incidents so that you will be able to, you may not miss the true positive incidents in the pile of false positives. So that is also one of the work. Okay, Varun asked me, can you throw some lights on the agent and agentless functions? Okay, so agent function, as you know, you install a piece of software across your endpoints. That means you install it in the endpoint machines or the servers and etc. etc. You will be able to do it. Agentless is nothing but your, some kind of a networking layer. You can take it, right? How do I install an agent on a firewall, right? So that's not possible. Or how do I install an agent on a F5 machine? How do I install a agent on a denial of service, on an Arbor, or any kind of a denial of service security device, right? So we can't do that. So rather, what you do, that's called agentless function. You integrate these two over an API. So the API will ensure that it gives you all the data to the Falcon CrowdStrike so that you will be able to detect all the incidents effectively. That's what agent and agentless question. Okay, please explain, Saravanan, it's a very good question. Please explain the benefits of holding a certification in the cybersecurity or SOC. Definitely, if you are if you are getting into SOC, you have to ensure that you are also holding some certification. The reason behind, when you do a certification, it will be much more focused on the topic which you are learning, and also you will learn in depth when you are learning that particular product or a particular tool or a particular technology. The mentors will be able to guide you in an effective way so that you will get the fullest of the capabilities of the topic which you are into, right? So that will ensure that you're not doing a shallow reading. You are capable enough in delivering that as a SOC analyst when you join any organization. Even in an interview, you have a lot of various training videos and everything available publicly. Is that really helpful? No. The reason is they are just a shallow reading. You're just, it's like you're just reading a table of contents in a book. Is that going to help you to get a job? No. To do that, you have to rely on like SpringPeople, kind of reliable vendors where we bring a lot of corporate trainings in front of the table. We work with various corporate and individuals to give the trainings, and you can reach out to us in case of any kind of requirements or something. Then we are open for any kind of trainings to you also. Okay, there was a very interesting question from Shri Nishant. After detecting an incident endpoint machine, can we isolate the machine and take more remote access? Yes, Falcon CrowdStrike is much more famous for that, because it's not only detect the incident and just stop it. You can create various workflows and automations that will ensure that whenever there is a ransomware, whenever there is a malware comes in, automatically you just go ahead and ensure that it is getting blocked or it's getting isolated. So the network level isolations, you definitely, yes, there is an option. And also, once the isolation is done, we have something called RTR. That's kind of a real-time response. What happens, the beauty is here, this impacted machine, it will not be able to communicate any other machine in your network, but it will communicate with Falcon server. That means you can go ahead and connect to that particular impacted machine. You can analyze it, you can do a forensic investigation, you can go ahead and do a deep dive investigation into it, so that you do a complete investigation, then you will be able to put back. So it's a very good question, Shinisha. There's a question from Rahul. How does automation works in Falcon? Yeah, Rahul. Falcon also, much more famous, as I said before, like they have automation feature is very pick and choose. That means you can, with a single click of picking, certain conditions, you will be able to create automations in a Falcon very effectively. That is called Falcon workflows. So workflows will give you the complete visibility into the Falcon for doing any level of automation. For example, as before, there was one more question, Senior Chand asked the question, can I isolate it? So Isolation also can be done using workflow. I want to block the machine. If any tactics comes, trigger me alert, assign the incidents to L2, critical incidents, assign the incident to a particular L3 members, right? So close the incidents automatically, all the false positives. So all kind of automations can be performed using Falcon CrowdStrike, and we call it as a workflows. Okay, Varun said thank you, Varun, for your question. And there was one more question, guys. So we will end up the QA session. Okay, after sensor installation in Falcon asset details, some cases host may report as sensor as an RFM and up to date. Why this happens? Okay, I guess Naren, you're talking about an RFM mode. RFM mode in Falcon CrowdStrike is nothing but we call it as a reduced functionality mode. It is a behavior of sensor. For example, when an agent is installed in an endpoint, the agent have to work to the fullest. That means there should not be any abstract. That only that you will be able to the agent will be able to mitigate all the risks which is occurring in that particular endpoints, right? But when sometimes this will happen mostly in a Linux environment and sometimes in a Windows Server environment, because if you're using older version of Falcon CrowdStrike, or if there is a glitch of software, for example, you already have 2 antivirus running, on top of it you are putting a one more Falcon EDR CrowdStrike into the machine. There are various scenarios the sensor gets into RFM mode. So when this comes, you will be able to do linear and logical troubleshooting, wherein you have to understand the log files from a Falcon. You can identify where it is and what is the glitch here. Then you will be able to make the sensor to the normal mode, and it will be able to function effectively. Thanks, Naren. Thanks for your question. I guess we are good with the questions. So thanks a lot once again for the people who joined here. And anytime if you want to reach out, you can reach out to me or my LinkedIn. So it's just Vin2Win, VINTOWIN. You can reach out to me any kind of a question, and please reach out to us over at SpringPeople so that we will be able to give you the complete. Over to you, Abhishek.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. We shall be sending out the webinar recordings to all of you participants soon. I request you to kindly provide feedback before signing off, which will help us to improve the quality of our future events. Thanks again for joining us today. Signing off on behalf of Team SpringPeople. Hope to see you again for our next expert webinar. Thank you and goodbye.